Got back from this trip and I said to Christina, we're going to meet for a drink because, she's like, oh, okay. And on the way down to the drink, I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. So I said, we're going to take a picture of ourselves. We're going to look really cute. And we're captioning it, all the cool girls get fired. And we put it up and people went mad. When we all were let go, February 22, a year-ish goes by. I was actually in South Africa on a trip with Red, and Christina was let go from following April from WSJ. And so she called me up, and I think it was good to, it's a shock. It's a shock for anyone. She's super smart and pragmatic, and, I wasn't worried about her. But, I think it's nice to have a friend who's a year further in and is still alive, and I dare say very well, and has a flashlight, and so we got back. I got back from this trip, and I said to Christina, we're going to meet for a drink because, she's like, oh, okay. And on the way down to the drink, I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. So I said, we're going to take a picture of ourselves. We're going to look really cute. And we're captioning it, all the cool girls get fired. And she's like, okay. And Christina's more reserved than me. But
how could anyone be more reserved than you?
I know, it's hard to imagine, just the entire population. And we put it up and people went mad. It was, I think there is a cultural problem with women owning what happens to them when this happens, that we need to rectify and stat. Like Christina and I, great friends, both very good at what we do. It was in no way an indictment on what we do that we got fired. And even if it is, what you need to realize, if you don't own what happens to you, you're never going to get better. I think a lot of women, and what we sort of said when we were launching this is like, why are you carrying this shame that only you put on yourself by your own choice? Why are you doing that? Again, no one cares. And two, you're being dishonest and you're just giving yourself this weight that, life is hard enough apart from the self-imposed stuff. So the idea of the book is to have, I make fake, what everybody always say is like, after reading this book, I want to get fired. But the idea is it's sort of twofold. The book is split into two sections interspersed, and it's half service. So it's what to do when you're fired, because I think, especially sadly in the US, your first concern is your healthcare, your money, mental health, blah, blah, blah. So there's all of these chapters, and the other half interspersed is interviews with very, very high profile women who at some point, sort of work friends kind of ladies, who at some point got fired. And the idea is a unifying one and a community building one, which is if you're sitting on the couch and you're crying because you lost your job or whatever, that you can go, oh, it happened to that lady too, like the lady who I think has everything, who is goals, who has it all. She was me once. So it's quite key that we take people who are very well known, because it's a unifying feeling. It's the same feeling. Yes, money makes a difference. Yes, status makes a difference, but the feeling's the same. And what we want to rid women of this sort of strange shame cycle. Say in your corporate world or whatever industry you are in, and it's like a sandbox, and you're playing in the sandbox, and you're like, hi, you play passively, you know how it works, and you do your thing or whatever, and maybe a dog shits in it one day, but it's your sandbox, and you know it, and even if it's not so great all the time, it's like it's yours. And then something like this happens, and you sort of look over, a bit further, and you're like, there was a beach here the entire time I've been sitting in this sandbox. That's the point. It's like, okay, get out of this squirreling, get out of this shame. There's a whole world out there, sister, and it's yours, but you have got to own what happened to you, and also own your abilities, and own your curiosities, and own your insurance, and own your financial management, and own all of these different things that give you so much power when you do.